Hello my friends, John LaRuffa here with another Unbiased unboxing, and in this episode we're going to be taking a look at Maglev Metro. So this is an interesting looking game. I know it's been out for a little bit, but I just picked up a copy. Let's go ahead and see what's inside. And as usual, everyone, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue to build up my fan base. Okay, so the front of the box looks pretty cool. It looks like a futuristic kind of subway-esque thing, even though it's clearly not underground. It's above ground by that, but whatever. On the back, I do like to see that they kind of blended the game, what the game looks like in with the background, which is kind of cool. I think that was an interesting take on it, and I do like to see what the game looks like when set up. And with this game, it really looks kind of cool because you see the game components give a real subway-like look to them, which I think is a nice flair and touch. So it's good marks as we kind of begin what we're doing here. Now, I mean, in the back, this maglev thing, okay, that's kind of, I don't know, a little silly to say, hey, it's this, and it's also the board game, but that's just me, I think, being, I don't know, goofy maybe, critical. Even though I can't even open up this box. How about that for being goofy and critical? What is going on with me today? Okay, here we go. So let's take a look at the inside of the box. Plain, nothing going on. The outside has those subway-like looks. Okay, there is no film on the transparent track tiles. Oh, all right, well that's good. They tell you don't remove it because it doesn't in there. Okay, you might damage them. Good to know. Thank you. From a rules perspective here, we've got our rule book, and I did kind of glance through it a little bit online beforehand. Sorry about that glare. My goodness, can't seem to dodge it. It's got some nice setup on both sides, kind of telling you how you set up both sides of the map, which is cool. Gives you plenty of information. And then it seems like there's a lot to the rules, even though I just can't imagine that it's that complex, but it just seems like there's a lot there. They don't seem to give, they give the pictures, which is good. And I guess that's how they incorporate their examples. But it does seem like it's content thick with all the different rules. And then the single player is just this little back thing here, which is fine. And then there we go. So hopefully the rules are written clearly so we don't have to rely on a ton of examples here. Immediately, I am taken aback by the chunkiest of tiles I think my eyes have seen in so long. Holy cow. That's 4 layers of cardboard for you folks at home. Look at that. So that's double layer and then 2 more. So I really hope these stand up and don't peel off. But I will give them big props on nice chunky components there. So those are your stations, and I really like the just the girth of those guys, huh? That's really nice. So, and then we've got this big hub here for that one map. So, again, very, very chunky. They clearly have glued 2 pieces of extra thick cardboard together. So, as long as they don't fray, that's awesome. All right, now we've got this felt bag here with our overlay tiles, the track tiles on them, and these are clear, so I'll open up one to take a look at with you. And we are warned that there is nothing on them that would need to be peeled, which is just fine with me because that would be a little tedious. And if they shrink wrapped them like they did, they shouldn't be scratched in the first place, I would think. Okay. They do have a little scuffing and such. You can kind of see here, but it's not like that big of a deal, to be honest. It looks like it's pretty well done. So they have the coloring is on the back and you can see through it. So I think that would hopefully help in the durability. We'll find out, but these are clear and they do have some scratches and scuffs and such, but that's just going to happen with handling. So I don't think that's going to be the end of the world. And so we've got all those straight pieces there that you saw, and then we have some curves. And these are kind of like the gentle curve and then the tighter curve. No intersections, no anything else. And that sort of makes sense because a subway really is not quite like a train in the fact that you got switch tracks and stuff. It's just more A to B sort of thing, not branching. So I'm going to assume that all these other colors are exactly the same and not spend the time on opening them. But the content looks good there. All right, now I heard plenty of things online about the gold and the bronze being far too similar for people to tell apart. I'm here to tell you, from my perspective, they are not that similar. Now, lighting conditions are key, I'm sure. But I can clearly tell you these are the bronze and these are the gold. See what I'm saying? I'm not, I mean, again, it's all about lighting. It's all about lighting, I get it. But I'm not going to have any problems with that. If you were worried about it, you know, I'm filming this under incandescent light bulbs, which usually are like the worst from a standpoint of, you know, blending colors together. But I seem to feel that, honestly, these are even maybe a little bit more similar, although there's clearly no way you'd mix up these from a standpoint of lighting. Now, that being said, I understand completely that there are varying degrees of color blindness and color sensitivity and acuity out there. So I am not trying to belittle anybody. I'm just saying what I see from my perspective here. And, you know, one of the things I would say is, if you were having a trouble with it, I saw people talking about what can we do, different solutions, this and that. If these were really similar, I wasn't going to repaint them. I was just going to put a little dot in the center of each one, you know, on the sides, and just use that to say the dots are gold and the non-dots are, you know, bronze, sort of like the Sneetches, right? Anyway, so I'm not going to have any issues with that. Hopefully you don't either. Let's take a look at these trains. These are metal and plastic. It looks like you're riding in style there, which is kind of cool. I will admit they do look like a specific reviewer said, they sort of look like toenail clippers when you flip them over, but I digress. They look nice on the board, and they'll look really cool carrying around the people. So those are good. We've got this giant, I'm guessing, first player token, which is metal. All right. And it says, good for one fare, Maglev Metro. Okay, so there's our probably first player token. Let's check out the card quality. So we get these open here. I hate scuffing the sides of my cards, getting cards open. I think, again, operator error, most people probably would be able to handle it, but I seem to find a way to put nail marks into the side of mine. Okay. So, looking at the thickness and the texture here, we have completely smooth cards. The thickness is good, though. These are, you know, on the thicker side. So I don't think, if you don't feel like sleeving cards, you won't be pressed to do that. I probably will, as I usually sleeve everything. But these are definitely thick enough where I don't feel like, oh, they're going to bend really easily. Now, these are completely functional. They definitely don't have anything aesthetically going on here. I mean, there's really just a functional kind of card, and that's okay. It is what it is. I guess I would have liked to see a little more artwork, but I mean, quite literally, it's as functional as you get. That's all right. So far, the rest of the components have been very, very nice. So if these are just, you know, functional situations, I will forgive that. Okay, so plenty of objective cards there. We have a bag of bags, which is good. I always like to have bags for my components. We've got score sheets here. It looks like the multiplayer on the front and the single player on the back, which is nice. All right, now I'm seeing 4 game boards that have a warp in them. Holy cow. Look at that, folks. So I've got one that isn't that bad, but these three are smiling at me, which is just a darn shame. But also, that's the problem with dual layer boards. So I'll do whatever I can to try to give these some humidification or whatever. But let's take a look at them. They're in 4 colors. They do look pretty nice. It's clear to see what, you know, what colors go where. Here, it's, if anything, it's just a smidge more confusing here, where this is either of the 3 metallic colors, but then bronze, either the 3 and then gold, silver. I guess I get it. So, okay. But we're going to have to do something about that. That's for sure. Hopefully the boards do not have any warping, because that would be a darn shame. These look like they only have a very slight warp for me. They are really triple layered. You've got the inner layer, and then you've got, it's double-sided. So maybe that kind of canceled things out, which is good. But this board, again, will go together like a puzzle piece, as you can kind of see here. And there is a little bit of, I guess I got a little bump in mine there, but that's okay. And I'll show you, just let me put the rest of this together here so you can kind of see what it looks like. So Manhattan would look something like that. All right, you get the idea. It looks like there's a river in the center here. And I put it together, but that's kind of what we're looking at. So, looks pretty sharp. Ultimately, I think the components are high quality. These warping situations are sad, but that's not something that I haven't seen a lot of good solutions for this yet. And I don't want to sit there and bend them back, because I'm worried I'm going to bend them or snap them, but I'm going to leave them out. Hopefully we can deal with it, because the biggest problem with anything like this that warps is that while you're playing the game, every time you try to touch it, it spins. I wish they could at least figure out a way to have it warp this way. So then it would be annoying, but it wouldn't go anywhere. Anyway. Small gripe, and one of them just didn't seem to warp that much at all. So I don't really know if it was pigments or drying or what, but we'll have to do what we can to see if we can get these to straighten out a little bit. Okay, other than that, really like the components, really like what I'm seeing here. Whatever you guys do in the future, I really hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and take care.